Hey man, you was in there standing up while you were eating. When they bump down on you, they ask you, is you under the fab or is you a rapper? You said a rapper. I got facts about these, man. Hey man, I'm on your ass, man. You know what I'm talking about, man? Cause why, hold on, man. You ain't stand up? You ain't sit down? When it was time to stand on business? So you let a nigga basically get you, man, made you stand up and eat your food. I thought you supposed to sit down and eat. Man, you got the internet food, man. That nigga a hoe in jail, man. That nigga a buster, nigga. And I can get the penitentiary on the phone, nigga. For real.
About Memphis rap. Everybody thinks these rappers are some kind of gods and untouchable, but inside prison, nobody can protect them. Picture this. Pooh Shiesty, the same dude who had the whole country screaming back in blood, is getting cornered in federal jail, forced to perform like some kind of jailhouse entertainer just to eat in peace. But wait, it gets worse. Word is he getting treated like a real hoe without his Draco. They had this man standing up during meals like he was being punished in elementary school, taking his commissary. And when the real inmates asked him, "You one of us or just a rapper?" he supposedly folded faster than a lawn chair. But here's the twist that's about to blow your mind. I got exclusive footage of a 32-year prison veteran going live just to defend Pooh Shiesty's name. This old head put his whole reputation on the line, and what he revealed will completely flip everything you think you know about what really went down behind them walls. No cap. By the time this video ends, you're gonna know exactly who was lying, who was telling the truth, and why some people in Memphis would rather see their own golden boy destroyed than see him succeed. This story got more layers than an onion, and I'm about to peel back every single one. Pooh Shiesty was sitting on top of the rap game. Millions of streams, platinum plaques, and the whole city of Memphis behind him. But when them federal charges hit in 2021, everything changed. The streets started watching, waiting to see if the same energy from his music would translate behind bars. But here's what really went down. While Pooh Shie was locked up, stories started leaking from inside federal prison that painted a completely different picture than what his fans expected. We talking about allegations that could destroy a street rapper's reputation forever. To understand how deep this rabbit hole goes, we got to go back to when Pooh Shiesty first walked through them prison doors. But first, make sure y'all smash that like button.
Pooh Shiesty is facing prison time after pleading guilty to a gun charge in Miami federal court. The case against Lontrell Williams Jr. stems from 3 shootings during the past 2 years, 2 of them happening right here in South Florida.
County jail we talking about. This was big boy prison, where your rap sheet don't mean nothing if you can't back it up. Federal prison got its own rules, its own politics, and for a young rapper from Memphis, it was about to be the ultimate test. Now, in federal prison, you got different factions. You got your gangs, your geographical cliques, and then you got the unaffiliated. When a high-profile rapper like Pooh Shiesty walks in, everybody watching to see which category he gonna fall into. But here's where it gets crazy. Stories started spreading that Pooh Shiesty wasn't moving like the street legend his music painted him to be. We talking about allegations that would make any rapper's worst nightmare come true. According to sources that started popping up online, Pooh Shiesty was facing some serious pressure behind them walls. We got Memphis inmates going on social media claiming they got the real tea on how Shie was moving in federal prison. One particular Memphis voice came forward with some explosive allegations. This dude claimed that Pooh Shiesty was getting extorted, forced to stand up while eating his meals like some kind of punk. But that's not even the crazy part. According to this same source, when the real ones in the pen stepped to Pooh Shiesty asking, "Is you one of the 5 or is you a rapper?" Meaning, are you really about that life or just entertainment? Pooh Shiesty allegedly chose rapper. Now, for any street artist, that's basically admitting you're not really built like that. The Memphis streets started buzzing. Here's this dude who was rapping about sliding, shooting, and street politics, allegedly getting his card pulled in real time. The source didn't stop there either. He claimed Pooh Shiesty was getting moved around, having to follow orders from real inmates, basically getting treated like he was food. But here's where it gets real. Another part of the allegations was that Pooh Shiesty was having to freestyle and perform for other inmates just to get by. Picture this, the same dude who was getting millions of streams having to rap for his safety behind bars. That's some next-level humiliation if it's true. Fast forward through his bid, and these stories keep circulating. Memphis blogs picking it up, street talk spreading, and Pooh Shiesty's reputation taking hits while he can't even defend himself properly from inside. According to this same Memphis inmate making these claims, Pooh Shiesty got labeled as a hoe and a busty in the pen. For any rapper, especially one who built their whole image on being tough, these are career-ending allegations. Now here's something that don't get talked about enough, the money situation. Pooh Shiesty went into prison as a platinum
meals out of commissary that would surprise you. Pooh Shiesty himself confirmed in interviews after getting out that he was eating steaks behind bars. Not metaphorical steaks, actual meat. And when you understand how federal prison commissary and kitchen politics work, that makes complete sense. When you got money, you can pay other inmates to cook for you, trade for better cuts of food, and basically run your own little restaurant operation inside them walls. The man was never going hungry, not even close. But it goes deeper than just food. In federal prison, money buys peace of mind in ways that most people don't understand from the outside. You can buy hygiene products so you don't got to use the basic stuff the prison hands out. You can buy better shoes, better clothes within the uniform rules, better everything. When you sitting on platinum royalties while everybody else is broke, that changes your entire dynamic inside. And here's the thing people don't talk about. That commissary wealth can also make you a target. When word spreads that a certain inmate got unlimited funds coming in, that's exactly the kind of situation that leads to extortion attempts. So the question of whether Pooh Shiesty got pressed over his commissary is actually more complicated than it sounds. Having that kind of money in a place like federal prison is both a blessing and a curse at the same time. But now, let's get into something that really got the streets talking, the protective custody situation. This right here is where it gets sensitive, because in prison culture, PC carries a specific stigma that can follow you for life. Protective custody means you're separated from the general population, usually because either you requested protection or administration decided you needed it for your own safety. On paper, it sounds reasonable. In prison culture, it's one of the most damaging labels you can carry. Word started circulating that at some point during his bid, Pooh Shiesty was placed in or around protective custody status. Now, whether that was his choice or the administration's decision is a whole other conversation. See, when a high-profile celebrity walks into federal prison, the Bureau of Prisons don't just throw them in general population and hope for the best. They do a security assessment. They look at who that person is, what enemies they might have inside, what safety risks exist. For somebody as famous as Pooh Shiesty, with his face plastered all over the internet, the administration got real reasons to be cautious. Think about it from the prison's perspective. If a famous rapper gets seriously hurt or killed on their watch, that's a national news story and a massive liability. So sometimes PC isn't even a choice the inmate makes. Administration can place you there whether you want it or not. And then you got to deal with the stigma that comes with it. But the streets don't care about the bureaucratic reasoning. In that world, PC means one thing: you couldn't survive with the real population. And that narrative started attaching itself to Pooh Shiesty's name while he was still locked up and couldn't address it. The Memphis blogs picked it up, the gossip accounts ran with it, and suddenly the PC angle got mixed in with all the other allegations swirling around his name. Now here's where it gets real interesting. Multiple accounts from people who were actually in the same facility during the same time period came out on both sides of this. Some claiming Shy was in PC the whole time, others saying they saw him in general population moving normal. That contradiction alone should tell you that not everybody making the
Pooh Shiesty getting extorted and pressed was straight cap. He said Pooh Shiesty stayed in his lane, minded his business, and wasn't out there trying to prove nothing to nobody. The OG made it clear Pooh Shiesty was solid, and he ain't seen none of the weird behavior people was talking about online. But let's break down what really happened when Pooh Shiesty spoke about his prison experience. In interviews after getting out, Pooh Shiesty talked about how he was cooking every day behind bars, not just regular prison noodles and commissary food. This dude was eating steaks, real steaks, not no beef jerky. When the interviewer tried to clarify what he meant, Pooh Shiesty made it crystal clear he wasn't talking about no $1,000 steaks, but he was eating better than most inmates. That alone tells you somebody was looking out for him, or he had enough respect and resources to live comfortable. And when you consider the money on his books, it actually makes total sense. Pooh Shiesty also mentioned that his daily routine was writing music constantly, while other inmates was caught up in prison politics. Pooh Shiesty was stacking verses and planning his comeback. That mindset right there shows you what his priorities was. He even called in the $1 million worth of game during his bid and talked about his experiences. That kind of access, being able to call in to a major podcast from federal prison, that don't happen for just anybody. That's the kind of move that requires resources, connections, and a certain level of freedom within the system. The OG who vouched for Pooh Shiesty explained it best. In federal prison, if you moving wrong, everybody gonna know about it. The fact that a respected lifer was willing to put his name behind Pooh Shiesty says a lot about what really went down. But the Memphis streets wasn't done talking. The same dude making the allegations came back harder, doubling down on his claims about Pooh Shiesty getting punked. He said he was rich before rap, been all over the country, done multiple bids, and knew real from fake when he saw it. Let's talk about something else that don't get enough attention. What it's actually like being a celebrity in federal prison on a day-to-day basis, because that experience is completely different from what a regular inmate goes through, and most people watching from the outside don't understand the dynamics at all. When you're famous and you walk into federal prison, your name arrives before you do. Guards know who you are, other inmates know who you are, administration knows who you are. That celebrity status creates a situation where everybody wants something from you. Some